I figured I would just do a Stihl history. We all know they make a variety of things from chainsaws to weed eaters to brush hogs, you name it. They pretty much make it. They set a lot of firsts for the chainsaw industry, though. These two are the only Stihls that I have. This one is a 009. Currently does not have a carburetor in it, and this is a 08S, which does run, but it needs tuned in the wood. That thing is heavy. But I want to start from the main beginning of Stihl's reputation period. And I do have a cheat sheet. Andreas Stihl AG and Company KG was founded in Germany in 1926, privately owned by their family, Stihl family, and currently is till today. They were the first company to manufacture their own bars and chains. Like I said, they are a first to many things. In 1927 is when they made their first electric power chainsaw for two persons. This thing was 2.2 kilowatts and it weighed 48 kilograms. Vertical operation only. So they really couldn't make a notch in a tree and lay them down. I'm gonna start from there, and I'm gonna work my way all the way up till 1994, because after 1994, that's when they really started innovating their chainsaws, like going into the electrical battery chainsaws and their auto-tune carburetors and stuff like that, where they made bigger saws, more efficient, like what we're talking about, zero emissions, pretty much. But anyway, let's backtrack. In 1929, Stihl made their first gas-powered chainsaw called the Type A. It was a two-person, six horsepower motor, and it weighed 46 kilograms. In 1929, sales and service from a single source. So whenever you bought a Stihl chainsaw back then, you got all your parts from them. You didn't get them anywhere else, like a vendor or something like that, or somebody that sold Stihl products, because during this time in the almost 1920, 1930s, Stihl were only selling in a few countries, like Switzerland, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. They also, in 1930, was the first company to make the first electric one-person chainsaw. It weighed 25 kilograms. That's pretty light. 1932 was the first patent on a chainsaw chain. So they pretty much patented their own chainsaw chain. 1932 also made washing machines. They made something else, but I really can't remember what I read about it. Was it a hot water heater or hot water boiler or something like that? I may be wrong about that. 1934 develops the first automatic oiling system for chainsaws, which is pretty awesome. This one right here has a unique oiling system. As the chain turns, there's a little a cog inside the case where you put it on, and you put your bolt on to put your bar and tighten it all up and all that jazz. As your chain turns, it turns that little lever and it pulls the oil out of the tank onto the bar, which is awesome. They were the first people to actually come up with the idea of that. Let's see. They in 1936 they developed their clutch system, which looks like many other chainsaw manufacturers. 1937 they developed this is really cool. Air compressed chainsaw for mining and underwater use. Tell me that ain't cool. That's really, really cool. um, I'm not a Stihl chainsaw fan by any means, but I do like a few of the models, and the only reason why I like the models is because they are high CCs, like 99 and up. Or I like their 71 cc saw, which is the 444, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong about that, but don't say that I'm wrong or right, whatever. This is about history. In 1938, the two-person saw called the BDKH with aluminum cylinder. It was the first chainsaw they built with an aluminum cylinder. 1942, Stihl was commissioned to make chainsaws for Germany in the war. We know how that all went down. 1943, the two-person saw, which was called the KS43. It was 8 horsepower, weighed 36 kilograms, and it was made with magnesium, like these. 1949, they also made tractors. That would be cool if they had actually come out with another Stihl tractor, kind of like John Deere. They have all their tractors. They even got into the chainsaw and the weed eater conglomerate whole deal, but I wouldn't buy any of their stuff besides a tractor. That's what they're known for. Let's see, where was I at? The tractor is a Type 140 all-purpose two-stroke diesel engine. So two-stroke diesel, that's awesome. 1950, first one-man saw weighed 16 kilograms. It was called the BL petrol-powered chainsaw. 1954, they made another one called the BLK gas power chainsaw. It weighed 11 kilograms. It's pretty light. 58, my bad. No, 1957. They made the BLK brush cutter, which was, I think they made an attachment for that, if I'm not mistaken, for their chainsaws in the 50s, something. It's coming up right here soon. In 1958, piston independent carb used in any direction. So whenever they would use a chainsaw, they can lay it vertically or horizontal and cut timber with it. Okay, here's where Stihl takes a turn and they start getting awesome in my book. In 1959, the Contra 6 horsepower, 12 kilogram, first gearless chainsaw. So these were like this. In 1961 is the Stihl 07 chainsaw. This is a one-man saw just like this one, but this is the 08. In 1963, they made the 08 concrete and metal cut-off saw, which is, you know, these big, huge chainsaws that look like chainsaws, but they got the cutting disc on the front. 1964 is the Stihl is the first to come up with the anti-vibration, which is pretty awesome. They were the first. In 1968, the 041 AV first ignition saw, and in 1967 was the first head trimmer attachment. That's what I was talking about earlier. They would take the bar and chain off, and then they'd have this attachment that goes on to the chainsaw itself, and you'd cut the top of your hedges or sides or whatever you wanted to do with them. Let's see. 1971, the new throttle lock, and they go to orange and gray, the color. To To me, I think those are the coolest colors that Stihl actually ever come up with, but a lot of people like their white and orange, which that's what Stihl's known for, is their white and orange. But some of their saws were actually white and like a reddish color, almost orange, but not completely orange. They developed the chain brake in 72. And 73, this is really cool. This is for all the timber cutters out west, up there in the mountains where it's real cold. 1973, the heated handle grip. That is sweet. It was a little button they turn on and off on their chainsaws. In 1982, the 024 next generation of saws powered to weight ratio. So the bar and the chain would balance out the engine itself, and the power to weight ratio is what they're actually talking about. Would actually balance itself out, so it wasn't so heavy. In 1983, a gas-powered leaf blower called the B660 blower. That's pretty cool. I got a home light one and a Craftsman battery-powered one, which is sweet. Let's see. In 1986, they developed the multi-function handle for like their weed eaters and bush hogs. In 1988, they came up with a Cadillac converter for saws for two-stroke, which is pretty sick, really. That's pretty cool, really. In 1996 is when Stihl comes up with the attachment to put on a weed eater, like a pole saw. That's what I call a pole saw, because when I worked at Aspen, that's what they called them. They call it the HT High Level Branch Trimmer, which is pretty neat. The 1994, I know I'm skipping ahead and going back. The O2T specialty saw designed for arborists, which is the top handle. Camera shut off for some reason. I don't understand why. But anyways, in 1994, like I said, they were the first to do a lot of things. But in 1994, they made the O20 top handle especially saw for arborists. It's like the top handle saws that's got a lot of torque, kind of like this, but beefier. In 1994, they were also the first to do the quick chain tensioner system on their saws. Kind of like you see all the like the real small Husqvarnas and the Polands and all stuff. I got those like clockwise and counterclockwise big tabs that flip out on the side of the saw instead of a bolt, and you take a saw wrench and tighten up the bolt, basically. But after 94, man, they took off. They started making really cool chainsaws. Personally, I like the 660 Stihls. I like the 046 chainsaws that had muscle. Those are my favorite kinds of chainsaws from Stihl. But this is it. Till next video. You guys have a wonderful day.